Hey, welcome back to Your Carolina on a frosty Wednesday. I'm still waiting on that first sound of dripping ice turning into water. It will warm up today with that sunshine. They're the graduates, and they turn them out about every 6 months around here, and they're frustrated, I'm sure, trying to find jobs. Bill Lenz is with us. Bill, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great.
You got some good advice for these kids that are just finishing college, haven't you?
Well, yes. Well, what's happening that's good news is that colleges and universities and also state employment offices now around the country are using a STEP system, which does take the guesswork out of finding a job. There's so much information out there that's long work-wise information. It takes a long time to find the job that you're looking for. There is an actual system you can go through that cuts through that.
Oh, that's
What's the government's answer to that?
Well, exactly that is going through an actual process rather than let's get a resume together and then let's go on the job boards. And that just doesn't work. Well, it does for some, but for most, it's such a long process.
So tell us what Jobs for All now is.
Right. Well, it's exactly that. It is a 10-step process that is designed to take the guesswork out of finding a job. And it has about 250 to 300 little tips in there that will, tricks, so to speak, that will cut through that process.
Its home is on the web. Is that where we head to find
Jobs,
it?
Actually, it's Jobs for Grads now, and then Jobs for All now.
So there are two websites.
Specifically for those that are just graduating and just starting their careers.
Well, break down some of those tips for us.
Yeah, well, one great one is for resume, you don't want to spend too much of your time on the resume. What individuals do is they spend all the time on the resume and then like, okay, what am I going to do now? What about my interviewing skills?
Sure.
One is interviewdestroyer.com. That's a great one to help you.
Is that what not to do?
Yeah, it actually does. It goes over questions, that employers are asking today, about 50 to 75, and what not to say. And then here's a great approach to it to make that happen. But if you spend that little bit of time on that, on those questions, you know what that employer is going to ask you, well, you're prepared to win a lot better, obviously.
That's right.
And there are some standard questions I'm sure employers hit you with.
Sure.
And there are probably some standard trick questions employers hit you with.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And they're looking for...
How much money would you like to make?
$1 million. Put me on right now, right?
That's right.
Well,
that's right, yeah.
Who wouldn't say that if you were honest?
You're exactly right, yeah. Sure.
Now, let's talk about what we would need if we go on this site. What information? Is it just as simple as...
Sure, you just would go on Jobs for Grads now, or Jobs for, and that's the number 4. All now. And there's also a section in there that's called Jobs Resources, which has several webinars that we've done, and we do complimentary webinars literally on a monthly basis to help, again, on topics of resume and networking today, which is so key.
Is there a fee for this?
Well, there is for an individual user, but what, again, colleges and universities and employment services are doing is using our system so that they can have it, so that it's free to the actual user itself.
So maybe ask your school if they're
Yes, absolutely. Well, Furman is
this.
one here that uses it. They're doing a great job.
And a webinar, that's a good word, is on the web.
And the webinar, sure, if they would just email on us, on our system there. We have complimentary webinars literally every month on a plethora of topics about employment.
What's the percentage? Do we have a percentage of people who come out with a job or anything like that?
Well, great question. The average time frame, depending upon who you talk with today, it's somewhere around 35 or so weeks to find a job. If you use a specific system, such as ours, that literally cuts it about in half.
Really?
And the reason is because, again, it's like you were having your cooking class over here. If you know the process on how to make that,
no brainer.
Tastes awful great, right?
What are some of your credentials? Tell us about you. How do you go back?
Oh, geez.
What you do?
I started when you did, back in the 50s, probably. But no, I started about 25 years in the employment business, and I've had a search firm and branches throughout the country doing that. And we decided, what can we do to give back to help job seekers?
Don't you think that there are resources out there, but I feel that most people don't know about them. And I feel like maybe you're streamlining that for everyone.
It's true. It's sort of like parenting. Where's the book on how to be a good parent? Well, they're out there. It's just following it, right? It's following a process that says, here's what I should do first. First, I need to assess, what do I want to do? Right? What do I want to do before I come up with my resume?
And a lot of people are trying to reinvent themselves because they're getting a little desperate, I think, aren't they?
They are, and that's what's so frustrating is that you go on the job boards you know, and they spend so much time on the job boards when literally 30 to 40% of those openings on job boards unfortunately don't even exist. They were filled 1, 2, 3 months ago.
Hey, tell me your opinion on things like LinkedIn and all of those.
Well, if you're not on LinkedIn, that's what you need to be doing right now, is getting on those social media aspects. And we actually go over that on what you can do.
I think there's a branched out now.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of different ones now.
But what you can do on, say, LinkedIn to find the company you want to go to work for and the employer's name and find information about that employer so that you're deciding what company you want to go to work for rather than being captive by the job boards of, oh, I need to apply this and that.
Okay, all right, so very important.
Absolutely,
then for
sure
that.
is.
And the hot career is still, what, nursing and computers? And
well, certainly healthcare, of course, and that's not going to go away in the next 10 or 20 years, so that's certainly hot. And of course, IT is coming back. But again, the key is deciding what you want to do and then having a process and going on through that. Networking, as we say, use your DNA, your decisive networking advantage. You know, we all have, but your friends, your family, and your mentors.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a couple of websites which we will have linked to our website, yourcarolina.tv, where you can see this all over again if you know a grad who didn't get to see it. But jobsforallnow.com, and that takes care of everyone, and then the one specifically for grads.
Jobs for grads now, right? And if they go on our jobs resources section, again, there are several webinars that we've taped and other videos that will really help the job seeker immediately.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You
it's
told
good
us
news.
a lot.
Great. It is good news. It is good news.
Thank you very much.